We got a little rain. I'm soaked. I'd be just as wet with rain gear. It rained really, really hard. I think that's the second one. We gotta hike down and up to that. Still raining a little bit. Well, good morning. We had a rainy night. It was supposed to rain like about the time we got to camp. That was when the chances were, but it rained. It probably started about 8:30 or so, somewhere in there, and then it rained a good part of the night, and it rained hard. I have got my small tarp, my little diamond tarp. I've got a smaller hammock with me on this trip. I'm testing something out, and I was not expecting rain that heavy, so I was really expecting to be soaked, but stayed dry. But I was up about 6 and then fell back asleep, and now it's about 8 o'clock, 8:30, something like that, and we had some breakfast and then hit the trail. But it is absolutely gorgeous right now, and this is one of those things that you don't think about. You think about, Drag and I were talking about yesterday, you come out to these places and you think of the views, but sometimes just your surrounding is enough of a view. And this forest, after a storm and the sun has come out, is gorgeous. Just absolutely gorgeous. So we're going to eat, maybe have a little coffee, and then figure out the rest of the day. And it's going to be interesting because my food bag is absolutely soaked. So I think I'm going to have to put that on the outside of the bag. Maybe hang the tarp on the outside of the bag, because that's pretty wet. But, oh, my pillow fell out. Damn it. But, there we go. Pick that up. That's what happens when you don't have your bug net on. Stuff starts to fall out. Alright, well, breakfast time. So, getting ready to load up on water for the day. A little creek that we're near. You can see Dragon heading back over to camp there. So we could hear it from the camp. Well, our camp, we made a camp. Nice thing about hammocks is you just need a couple trees. But yeah, real nice. This is Buck Run. Decent amount of water flowing through. Get some water, pack up, and to our next 10 miles. All packed up. We have left camp, and we are back on the trail. So we got about a quarter mile to go or so before we run into where we diverged off the trail last year. We just did like a little section hike. And then it will be maybe a couple hours of hiking that we've already done. And I'll try not to do what Dragon just did. Step right in the water.
Oh, I thought myself to
But this is our water source and on the trail. So I've already had a few people pass us heading out from Doe Creek, where we were originally planning on camping. So it's good to see there are a lot of people out here using the trail and just enjoying themselves. This is absolutely gorgeous forest. So we're gonna keep going and I'll catch up with you in a bit. And here comes some more people now. Alright, so that really only took about 4 minutes, but that's where we just came from. This is the direction we came from last year, and we went up that way out to the road. And if there was ever any doubt of a camping spot, we could have camped here, like maybe somebody did last night. Yeah, you could find trees around here to camping if you're doing hammocks. But so now we're going to do a little bit of familiar territory hike until we get back down to the river. But it's clear today, so we should be able to see off that overlook. Last year it was all foggy, so we should get a decent view. And still, this little water crossing was awesome. So we're at a spot where we're heading up to the overlook now, and we came down this last year, and that's level straight ahead of me, and here's Dragon. And it keeps on going up past that. Not the worst thing, but definitely I'm glad that we weren't camped right at the bottom of this, because it would suck to just start your day at.
It's definitely a little worse when it's wet.
Yeah.
And the leaves on the ground.
Yeah, so that probably came through, but what he said was it's definitely worse when it's wet and there's leaves on the ground. So we are in absolutely no hurry. We've got about 16 miles to cover in 2 days. So we got lots of time. Lots and lots of time. So we're going to enjoy it, take our time, and did I mention enjoy it? Lots of roots, kind of natural stairs. You can see there's some granite underneath here, which is pretty grippy, but the leaves on it can make it a little slick.
Let me know if you see it move. I'm going to snap a quick picture of this vista.
Yeah, I'm watching. Oh, I see him. He's under the bush. I think that's him. So we just got warned off of the vista by some passing hikers. We are being very careful. We approached very slowly, made lots of noise, and this is as far as we're going.
Yeah.
We're not going to go along here. The count of rattlesnakes is going up, people are saying. So the trail is right. We just came right up to here. And as soon as we got up here, we heard one. But we want to see the vista because last year this was all socked in with fog. So here it is. Let me scoot around Dragon here for a second. Here, go behind me. So I get getting closer to it. So this is the vista. And that rattlesnake has calmed down. He realizes we're not getting any closer.
Yep.
But he's right over in there somewhere.
It might be under that bush. It's hard to tell.
Yeah,
It's
there's.
under the bush or under a rock.
I think it is. If you look right there, you can see it. See if I zoom in a little bit. So right in there, there's something sitting there. So yeah, we already knew that there's a high population of rattlesnakes out here.
Yeah, and we were warned by a bunch of hikers that there was a lot of snakes up here. They've been bypassing this area. Yep. I've never seen a rattlesnake in the wild, so I was kind of hoping if we got up here, we'd see one in the distance, safely.
Safely, yeah. Which is key. So, I mean, I'm 99% sure that's him right there. So if you see that dark spot underneath the bushes, you've just seen a rattlesnake.
It definitely looks like a snake coiled up.
Yep. And that's, I mean, all we really wanted to do was see what we missed last year. Got a view of this vista. I'm going to take a picture, and then we're going to bypass the rest of this overlook. Because nobody needs to get bitten by a snake.
Yeah.
None of that is worth a selfie, a photo, or any of it.
And in reality, it's their home, not ours.
Exactly. So take a quick picture, and then we will graciously give the snakes back their home. All right, so back down off that spot. That snake was right up there. And this is us avoiding the snakes. Bypassing areas for danger is never a bad thing. You're not giving up anything. You're not losing face. You're not being a baby or a child because you don't want to get bit by a rattlesnake.
Do you think they went this way and then left?
No, he said up behind the campsite. You'll see the campsite, which is going to be up here a little further. Okay, there it is. Yep. So, yeah, you're not. There's no shame, I guess, in avoiding a danger spot. I know a lot of people will. Well, not a lot. Some people will disagree with that. Oh, the snakes aren't going to bite you. Whatever. We are like 14 miles. Well, no, from the nearest road, we're probably 8 miles. Or so. No, maybe not even that. 4 miles.
I don't know. The big thing with the snakes or any animals, in my opinion, is why would you risk injuring yourself or injuring that snake over no real reason?
Yeah.
It's just there doing its thing.
Yep. Oh, this actually isn't even the campsite that we saw last time. That one was right on the trail by the. So there's another one. So I guess keep heading because that drops off there. Just keep your ears peeled. If you hear a rattle, we don't go that way. But I mean, that is the vista right there. Yeah. So, all right, camera's going away. We're gonna pick our way around here and watch for snakes. Snake free at the big overlook. See a little bit more. Just a little bit. All right, so we hung out here for a minute. Got to see the overlook, and we're heading back and checking for any snakes that may have shown up in the time we've been out here. But so now we're gonna head back down, head past the old campsite we were at last year, down to some water, down along that, down to the creek, and across. All right, let's go. So we got the first big water crossing, as we call it big, right here, the little creek. There's campsite right there. We're gonna climb up and leave trail for a while. It's been mostly hiking trail, but we're gonna come up here and we're gonna pass where Dragon is. It turns into old logging road, and this goes right down along the creek here, down to the main river, which is where we're gonna stop for lunch. But it's been, been a very enjoyable hike. Very beautiful forest out here, and good to see as many people out here enjoying this as we are. Now, the old loggers path is pretty popular because it is, as far as backpacking trails go, relatively simple. Like, this is really the rockiest part we've seen. So, but definitely ready for lunch. So we'll get down here. It's probably another
10, 15 minutes or so. We'll stop for lunch, and then that'll be it for the north loop. Then we'll head up on the other side to do the south loop.
He is.
He doesn't look like a copperhead.
No.
Looks like a guard, like a very light garter. So that is the least dangerous snake we've seen today. He's camera shy. Or she is camera shy. But I almost just stepped on that snake.
Yeah, we were trucking along this nice, easy path down to the water, and Kurt almost stepped on him.
Sorry, buddy. So we're about 30 seconds after me almost stepping on a snake, and the trail routes off the road, and we get to a little bit of a descent. The dragon's behind that tree, and this just goes straight down to the river. It's steeper than it looks. You're
Probably the sketchiest part so far.
how far away are you? 15 feet?
Yeah, 15 maybe. 20.
I'm looking straight ahead. I can't see you. There he is down there. That's that's how steep this is. So, not going to film this. I'm like right in your face. Not going to film this part, but using a pole. All right, so we got the water crossing out of the way and had our lunch, and you might be able to tell it's raining now, but we're supposed to get a little rain here for the next little while, at least according to what we saw last time we had signal, and then it should pass. So didn't bother breaking out the rain gear. Took my pant legs off. Not sure if I'm still on the trail or not. Dragon is ahead of me a little bit, and we've got a gradual climb coming. Oh, okay. The dragon's ahead of me a little bit. We've got a gradual climb coming for the next mile or so, mile and a half. Then it'll level off, and then we're gonna have a bigger descent later on in the day. But that'll be around the spot we decide if we're gonna stop for the day or not. So we might tackle that today, maybe tomorrow. But I'm gonna put the camera away for now, catch up the dragon, and dodge the raindrops. Oh, we just hiked up from the river, and we did that first like mile and a half or so, that gradual ascent, and it just poured the whole way. I'm soaked. I'd be just as wet with rain gear. It rained really, really hard, but yeah, so we're walking along this now, and there's just like this, it's just a rock ledge underneath us. It's really cool. We're kind of hoping that the rain lets up here soon, because we got a little bit further to go before we hit our 10 miles for the day. We're probably at about 6.5, 7 right now. Yeah, check that out. And you're like right on the edge, so this is getting sketchy. So we're at like 6.5, 7 miles right now for us. We're like a mile and a half ahead of like the normal 10 mile mark because we went a little further last night. But we'd like to dry off before we camp. We've also floated the idea of once we hit our 10 miles, that only leaves about 5 or 6 more to go to finish the loop out. So it is feasible that we could finish this today and just hike out. If it stays like this, it keeps raining, that might be our option. But is what it is. Or at least we'll complete the loop. We'll do the entire Old Loggers Path. There's something about hiking in the rain. I know people think I'm crazy. What do you do when it rains? Keep hiking. Why? Because it's gorgeous. This really doesn't. You can kind of see the slope here. How steep that is. So we're going to keep on chugging. We should be getting relatively close to the shelter, probably within the next 2 miles, I would assume. I think there's a second one. So maybe we'll stop there and assess what we got going on and make our decision from there. We got enough food, we can stop and eat and still kind of take our time and finish this out tonight. It's still relatively early. So we'll see. Talk to you in a bit. All right. We've made it to the first vista on the south side, and I can't even see the screen. Let's see if I can turn my brightness up. There we go. Yeah. Not bad. Yep, hiking in the rain might suck sometimes, but you get to see cool stuff like that. I'm disappointed, Dragon. We can actually see off this vista.
I wasn't expecting that.
Neither was I.
I was walking up to it.
Very cool. We got that mountain over there. That's the second vista over there, I believe. I think that's the second one. We got to hike down and up to that.
Oh, okay.
Still raining a little bit.
How dare you drag me up and down these mountains?
It is now about 4 o'clock. We have reached another water crossing. I think this is our last one. I think. Might just have to jump this. But there's a lot of water over there. We're going to check that out. It's flowing down this way. I'll bring you back when I get over to that. Well, we got a little rain. I don't think there's supposed to be that much water normally going across the trail where it goes. So my feet are already wet. I'm probably just going to walk through it. I don't think it's really going to make much of a difference at this point. Yeah, a lot of water's coming through here. All right, figure out what I'm going to do. Yeah, you can just bail it. So we just walked across the water. We didn't even take our shoes off. We're already wet. We walked across and then wrung out our socks and dried out just a little bit, and then walked 30 feet down the trail and had to walk through water again. So, but it's about 4:30, and we're gonna hike on. I guess we'll start looking for a camp at some point and set up. So muddy. So muddy. Look at all this mud. But we're going to start ascending pretty soon up to the other overlook. I didn't look at the map how far away we were from that ascent.
I think we're going to start getting right into it.
Yeah. So, guess we'll see. If we see something we like, we'll stop. Have not come across a shelter, and I thought we would have by now. So maybe there's not one on this side. I don't know. Alright, I was wrong before about that being our last water crossing. We've had a couple since. But that one, that's like a cave underneath there. That dragon got across it pretty good. But this, we should be just about at the beginning of our last descent. So I don't want to drop the phone in the water, so I'm going to stop recording and I'll catch up with you in a bit. Alright, we have crossed the old road down here, and we're heading along this very cool trail, these very cool woods, and then we got to get up to the top of this, just not really showing through the camera. Yeah, so up there, we gotta get up there. I think that's as far as we gotta go. There could be another summit beyond that, I don't know. So we're gonna try to get up there and then make camp once we finish this, because this is the last big climb that we can see on the map for the entire trail. Should be a little ridge walk after this, maybe a couple little valleys, little knolls, and then descent back down to Masten, and then a little short road hike, and then back to the car. But we are going to camp tonight. That was our preferred plan, was to dry out enough to be able to camp and not have to push on through, which we could still do. We've got probably 4 hours of light, maybe a little bit more, and from here I think we're at like 22 miles trail miles, so probably 4 or 5 miles of trail to do. We could do it, not crazy about it, so we'll camp. We're on a little bit of a deviation from the old loggers path. We're just about up to the top, and I think it's the Sharp Hawk Vista, I think it's called, and it's actually a side trail. That's what I'm on right now. I don't know how far of a deviation this is, but I can see open sky. Oh, and I see a shelter right here. Oh, well, we might have something going on here. We haven't seen anybody on the trail for a while. We haven't seen anybody coming the other way for hours, so this might be a place to stop. This might be camp. I don't know. There's definitely trees here, enough trees. Check out the shelter. Let me just drop my pack in the shelter. There's nobody in here. Some people have their stuff in there. All right. But I don't know where the vista is. Must be straight on. Oh yeah, here's the vista. Oh yeah, there's tents out here. How you doing? Guys got a good spot. Yeah. Oh, it poured before. Got a little view too. All right. Well, we decided to come back over to the shelter. We're just talking to the guy who's staying in here, and we're setting up right to the side of it here and dragging this back there behind it. And this is going to be home for the night. With maybe a chance of rain coming in. But we'll see. But we're going to dry off. It's nice we've got the shelter here, so if it does get really bad, we can bail into here. It's hard to tell if that's thunder or if that's the mining operation.
Oh yeah.
It's hard to tell. But I mean, it's Sunday, so who knows. But we might try to get a fire going, make some food, and just relax. We got plenty of time. That's going to do it for our second day on the Old Loggers Path. If you liked the video, hit that thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you next.